Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're reviewing a Toyota Highlander. Before we get into this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Brent Brown Toyota here in Orem, Utah for giving me some time with this Highlander. I'm going to include a link to their website in the description down below so you can check what they have currently. If you have any questions, just ask for Easton. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a turbocharged 2.4 liter 4-cylinder that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 22 around town and then 29 on the highway, with power outputs being 265 horsepower and then 310 pound-feet of torque. Now before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood, you guys can see how it's raised there on either side. You get that little divot in the center, which is pretty interesting. Got the Highlander's signature headlight design and then fog lights down below. Notice the grille is darker with this particular package. And putting it all together with this metallic gray, I think it's a pretty sharp looking car. Now around the side here, our tire wheel setup is 235, 65, 18 in the front and over in the rear. And you guys can see here at the wheels, you've got the silver mixed with the metallic gray. And then notice the fender flares there with the little splash guard. And then you got the mirror caps, which are body painted. Same thing with the door handles. Then you got more of that silver trim. And then here is the full side view with the Highlander. Now taking a look at the key fob, we have our lock and unlock function. We also have the opening for the hatch, and then you got the Highlander logo there on the back. And popping into the rear, you guys can see there's a decent amount of cargo space behind the third row. But with this segment of SUV, it's not massive. That's why if you want real cargo space, you got to fold the third row itself down. Now notice third row passengers do get some cup holders there in the back, which is nice. And then in terms of space, you can see that you do have a little bit of leg room, but it's not massive. And then headroom, again, you got a bit, but it's not massive. So just understand, third row is best reserved for kids. When you're all done, just press that and that'll lower the hatch right back down. Now taking a look at the taillights, you guys can see pretty cool design. And then we got all of our badges here on the back. And putting it all together, let me guys think about the overall design on this version of the Highlander. Now taking a look at the door panel, you guys can see we've got the sunshade here for the rear passengers, and you got nice padding down below and then storage at the bottom. And then taking a look at the seats, nice padding, the theme continues, and then you've got all of your adjustments that are nicely labeled. Legroom here in the second row is actually pretty dang good. We also have a little storage pocket, got our own climate zone here in the back, some USBs. We even have some cup holders here in the center, which is interesting. And then headroom, pretty good. Now taking a look at the front door panel, soft touch here at the top and then also down below. All of our window controls are right here. Got your mirror adjustments. The mirrors do have blind spot monitoring. And then taking a look at the front seat again with the self-touch trim that goes down the center. Power adjustments on the side. We got this to open up the hatch. You got that for your auto stop start. And then you guys can see the soft touch right here and then also soft touch on the dash. Now taking a look at the steering wheel, you guys can see soft touch all around. We also have our adaptive cruise control with our lane keep assist. We've got our volume and voice command controls. We've got controls for the center stack as well. And then your regular stocks here on the back. Now with our gauge cluster, you've got the analog elements on either side, and then this digital screen here in the center, which you can use to see a bunch of different bits of information. And then we do have our drive modes. We've got a sport mode, normal, and then eco mode. And then we've got just a regular backup camera here. Resolution with it is not too shabby. As for the rest of the infotainment system, you guys can see response time with the screen is really good. It's easy to use, and from a middle line package, it actually has a pretty big screen. Analog volume control there, and then we do have a tri-zone climate system, so dual zone for the front, and you got your own rear climate, and then we do have heated seats up front, and then some vents here. Wireless phone charging pad is down below, which I've always thought is interesting. And speaking of random storage, you can see above the glove box, and then you have our traditional glove box down below. Nice padding, and again, like I said, the dash is also soft touch. And then we have a ton of charging ports right there, some cup holders, shifter here for the 8-speed automatic. Then you got your snow mode, your stability control, auto hold, parking brake, and you guys can see your drive mode select. And then I like this for the center console. That opens up. Nice padding here on either side, and then we do have a sunroof up top. Okay, so here's a quick look at this window sticker, and this one's actually front-wheel drive, interestingly enough. But 42,000 base MSRP, total MSRP 45,207. And let's see how it drives. Let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's visibility over the hood. Both mirrors, do a blind spot monitoring throughout the rest of the rear. And let us set off in the Highlander. So I had a lot of people comment on my last Highlander review saying that the 2024 Highlander doesn't exist. Go to Google. That's all I gotta say. The 2024, they're still making this. They've got the Grand Highlander. Some people think that the Grand Highlander is phasing out the regular Highlander, but it looks like they're doing both of them. They're gonna be doing the regular Highlander and the Grand Highlander. So I don't know. They exist. The 24s, they exist. So unless this is secretly the Truman Show and this Highlander I'm driving doesn't actually, that could be a thing. Who knows? Anyways, setting off. Seat comfort's good. The engine, I like this new engine. You know, I do miss the V6, and I am a person that, you know, like, I feel like most car enthusiasts does prefer naturally aspirated and bigger displacement and all of that, but I will say this turbocharged engine, it's not bad. The low end torque's really good. So the V6, you kind of got to get into it a little bit more. This, no, not so much. But you do lose a little bit of horsepower with this engine, which I do think, yeah, kind of makes it a little bit less exciting when it comes to highway driving because you don't have as much passing power. So there is that. But ride quality's good. Like I said, seat comfort's good. This XLE package is actually pretty impressive with what it offers from a value standpoint with the features and all of that. That's kind of what the XLE's always been about, right? Get a little bit more value, a little bit more features for not as much money. Yeah, it's so comfortable. It drives really well. Just drove a 4Runner before this, and it's interesting to see the difference because they're relatively the same size. The 4Runner obviously sits a bit higher. They're relatively the same size, but they drive so different because unibody versus body on frame. Man, that person just threw the roundabout. Smooth. Yeah, the torque is great. It's impressive. And I like how this drives. I think they've done a fantastic job with the dynamics. So to cap things off here with the Highlander and I guess this XLE package, the reason I wanted to review this is trying to do more affordable packages rather than just reviewing top line packages. I always try to have at least somewhat of a focus on that. So I like the interior on this. I think that it's, you know, not necessarily like the most luxury feeling on the planet, but the materials feel like they're going to hold up well over time, and it's got lots of soft touch throughout, so it does give it it gives it a premium Toyota feel, if that makes sense. Features are good, it drives well. This turbocharged engine performs well. Again, not as good passing power as the V6 is what I would say, but the around town driving is quite a bit better. The low end torque's fantastic, and yeah, I think this is great. I guess the one downside about this version of the Highlander, now that the Grand Highlander exists, is, right, the Grand Highlander's got more space, but you do pay a, you know, price premium for the Grand Highlander. It's quite a bit more expensive, so I do think this still has a place in Toyota's lineup where if someone wants 3-row practicality and they want something that's sub $50,000, then yeah, this is going to make quite a bit more sense compared to the Grand Highlander. And I mean, other automakers do, like, people are thinking this is crazy, but look at Kia, for example. They have the Telluride and the Sorento. Hyundai has the Santa Fe and the Palisade. So like, this isn't unheard of for an automaker to have 2 3-row crossovers that have some, you know, I guess what you could say price crossover. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about the regular, we'll call it the Reg Highlander, the high regular. Yes, the high regular. That's what we're gonna call this. Let me know what you guys think about it.